Right?
Well, they were my number one dark horse team to make the playoffs. Every year I pick one team. Last year it was the Rams. This year it was Washington. I felt just getting Dan Snyder, the owner, out of the building was worth wins. I also thought Jayden Daniels was going to be a little Lamar Jackson light. He is a spectacular talent and a wonderful kid. You knew he was going to be great when the coaching staff couldn't stop heaping praise on him in the preseason, which coaches never do. We got the Commanders right.
Yeah, Colin definitely deserves a tremendous amount of credit. He was one of the first ones for sure to really push what he believes the Commanders would be able to do, along with Jayden Daniels. I've already done my victory laps with Colin Nets, so we'll leave that to the side. But I'm filming this after watching the 49ers versus the Lions game. And, I'm looking at Purdy and Goff, and it's making me think a few different things. And I really encourage people to sometimes watch these games through the lens of, I don't know anything about these quarterbacks, right? It's a common thing to do. It's called, beginner's mind, right? Looking at something through fresh eyes. I have no idea what this player did in college. I have no idea what this player did last game, let alone last season. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what their ceiling is supposed to be, what people are tell me about them. I don't know anything about them. Nothing. No preconceived notions whatsoever. Just watching it through a beginner's mind. My first introduction to any given player. And it's a great way to look at things because it just reduces all biases. And when you watch Jayden Daniels play, there is just no sense that this is not a top quarterback in the NFL. The only reason why you would argue against it is because of biases, because of you already putting some of these other quarterbacks who you've seen already do things for a longer period of time, or you've seen them reach, real big highs. You've seen them lift trophies, or you believe that this so-and-so quarterback is supposed to be better in the years to come. But if we threw all of that out the door, all of it, had no idea what Mahomes has done, no idea what Allen, Lamar, any of these guys, Burrow, you would without a doubt, put Jayden Daniels as a top quarterback in the NFL. I mean, seriously, again, who are you putting ahead of him? I can understand this year you're going to put maybe Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, because we're seeing those guys do some pretty next level stuff. We can see the size and strength of Josh Allen. We've seen some of the things that he's done this season, historical things. We see what Joe Burrow's asked to do out of his mind. Same thing with Lamar. And to a degree, Mahomes, and again, we're not having a whole conversation about Mahomes or this or that. Mahomes' team, the Chiefs, have dealt with some injuries. But again, let's not think of Andy Reid. Let's not think of Cliff Kingsbury, this coach, that coach. Like, I'm trying to say, just remove all of that. I mean, who are you really putting up in front of Jayden Daniels? I mean, seriously. Who are you going to put in front of him? Not going to be Dak. Not going to be Baker. Not going to be CJ. Not Jordan Love. Sam Darnold's having a heck of a year. But I think if you're watching both those players, you're going to feel like, hey, I believe, and again, we're not have any idea that happened in the past or what the future, even their age, nothing. You're going to be like, yeah, Sam Darnold's playing a heck of a year, but he does have some really nice weapons around him. I'm not so sure we can just, we can see Jayden Daniels do more with less. As much as we're trying to get rid of all this other stuff, you can still be like, Jayden Daniels can do more for his team. We can see what he does with his legs and whatnot. So again, it's like you're already then putting him in the conversation with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. And truthfully, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes' record with the Kansas City Chiefs, we probably would not even put Mahomes in that category right now. I really, truly believe if the Chiefs just had kind of like a regular record, or if Mahomes truly wasn't Mahomes and we didn't know all the great things that he's done and all of that, you would have people genuinely pick Jayden Daniels over Mahomes. Again, Let's just be very clear with the example that I'm saying. We have no idea who any of these players are. We're just judging them on this season. Seeing what Jayden Daniels has been able to do, it really has been extraordinary. And I feel no reason to try to minimize that or squash any of that excitement, because then what's the point? Because the first things first, I had a conversation where they said, is Jayden Daniels a superstar? And I gave my answer, and I said it was ridiculous. He is. The dude's balling. He's playing great. And they were like, no, he's not a superstar. He's not a superstar. He's a budding star, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of people in the comment section were like, you can't be a superstar. You're a rookie. You got to at least do this for a couple of years. And it's like, well, then why ask the question? Why ask the question? Like, if that is the requirement and the parameters of what a superstar is, well, then it's absurd to even ask the question in the first place. That's like if someone was in college and you ask the question, is so-and-so a top player in the NFL? And it's like, well, he's not in the NFL. He's in college. And it's like, so why are we asking the question then? So it doesn't make any sense. I understand if that is the parameters, but like, again, then why even ask the question? Now, if you want to say, is Jayden Daniels elite or something, then I can understand, yeah, you want to see him do it for another year or two or something. But in terms of this idea of a superstar, which really it's a combination between popularity and greatness, and that's what, I mean, how many Jayden Daniels jerseys do you think there are going to be next year? Are you kidding me? Are you going to be able to go anywhere in DC and not see a Jayden Daniels jersey? I mean, is it already through the roof? I mean, what he's doing is just amazing. And again, you can see that his personality is through the roof. He's the type of player that you want to root for. He's not kind of a jerk. He's not conceited. He's not showboaty. He's not in your face. I mean, he's the type of guy who you could hang out with. I always do this analogy where it's like, who do you want to be stuck in a car with? If you had a 5-hour car ride, who do you want to be in a car ride with? And there's a lot of players that even I like, that I will praise, that I'm like, man, I don't know what we talking about. This would be so uncomfortable. This would be like pulling teeth. And Jayden Daniels hasn't got that. And that means a lot for a quarterback. Ask Carson Wentz. So seeing this, I just think has just been really awesome. And so I feel no need, because people are like, well, let's see him do it for a couple more years. Yeah, obviously. That goes without saying, of course. No one's saying that he's a Hall of Famer. No one's saying he's the greatest football player to ever live. But to have to constantly hold back on praise when we see a young player, a rookie quarterback, play so great, because we've only seen him do it for like 15 games, 16 games, whatever the time is at the time that we're having this conversation. Well, let's see him do it next year. Let's wait until they have film on him. It's like, okay. So then I guess we just shouldn't talk about players then. I guess we should just, actually none of these shows should exist. It should just be like, the Commanders beat the Falcons. Tune in tomorrow when we find out who wins the Lions versus the 49ers. Hey, welcome to Tuesday's show. The Lions beat the 49ers. Tune in tomorrow when I guess we have no other games to talk about, because we've already told you who won, so we'll just sit here in silence. Like, I never get that reply. It never makes sense to me. I'm kind of like, until you show me otherwise, this is who I believe you to be. And right now, you're playing like a top quarterback in the NFL, which I had already went through all the stats and the ratings for through the first things first. And so I won't do that all over again, because again, the stats don't even matter to me. Just use your eyes. You can see it. It's very clear. It's very obvious. You can't miss it. when you watch all these other quarterbacks play, and you're watching Lamar Jackson play great, you're watching Patrick Mahomes play great, just the last batch of games. You see Jared Goff making some beautiful throws. You see, name any other quarterback. And in no way are you like, if only we had one of those quarterbacks and not Jayden Daniels. You're like, yeah, we got that guy too. We got that top quarterback making plays. So yeah, the only thing next is consistency. Can he do it in year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? We'll have to just find out. But there's no reason to constantly put that in front of when we're just trying to be like, how great is this player right now? Because the truth is, he's an MVP. He should be an MVP candidate. He was an MVP candidate, pseudo, earlier on in the season. Like, it was kind of like, oh my God, how dare you say that? And then he kind of fell out of favor a little bit. But he's single-handedly bringing this team. They're 11-5 now. Potentially 12-5. Clinching a playoff berth. This team was trash last year. And Jayden Daniels is single-handedly carrying this team to victories. Multiple victories. If that's not an MVP, then I don't know what an MVP is. And the only reason he's not in the MVP conversation right now is because we know he's a rookie. We know these other players are not rookies. And we know what those other players have done. But you are not going to tell me that Jayden Daniels is not worthy of at least being for consideration for the MVP. Of course he is. Of course he is. He's been magnificent. And we don't have to keep censoring ourselves that just because he's a rookie. It's going to be okay, I promise. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders? How they've been able to really turn this thing around very quickly, and just how great Jayden Daniels has been. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way. Let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.